Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber have had a difficult week, and the shift has been impossible to ignore. Everywhere I looked, something new was being discussed about them, and each update made the situation feel heavier. I'm not trying to dramatize anything, but even I could see how quickly the tone around their marriage changed. At first, people brushed off every rumor, but suddenly, Justin began saying things no one expected him to say. Then came the clips people kept replaying, interviews that only caused more confusion, and one particular moment caught on camera that kept the internet frozen for hours. It was the kind of sequence where guesses weren't even necessary. The events spoke for themselves. Today, we're going to break down everything that happened, step by step, beginning with the earliest indication that things in the Bieber household were not as calm as many assumed. When Justin and Hailey finally acknowledged that their marriage was struggling, it felt like a significant turning point. For years, any suggestion of trouble was quickly dismissed either by fans or by those insisting the media was making things up. Now those statements were coming straight from Justin and Hailey. Even I could sense the weight in their words. This time, Hailey, saying they were taking their marriage one step at a time, sounded simple on the surface. But it really wasn't. It was the kind of phrase couples use when they're trying to steady something that's already becoming harder to maintain. Justin's recent expressions didn't help ease concerns either. He looked exhausted, distant, and distracted. You could almost feel the pressure behind every public moment they shared. One fan commented, "This is the first time they're not pretending everything is perfect." And honestly, I understood why people felt that way. When a couple who usually keeps their personal life private suddenly stops hiding how they feel, it reveals a lot about how serious the situation might be. Another person added, "Being honest is mature, but it also proves the rumors weren't lies. I didn't want to believe it at first, but it's hard to ignore now." When both Justin and Hailey begin using words like hard, difficult, and day by day, it shows the pressure at home has reached a point where they can't pretend anymore. And that was only the beginning. Everything that followed made their admission feel even more serious right after Justin and Hailey said they were going through a rough phase. Things took an even more dramatic turn. The moment Justin stepped out of his car at Kris Jenner's birthday party, the internet immediately noticed something unexpected, a strange white powder mark on his pants. And honestly, the timing couldn't have been worse. When a couple is already facing tension, even the smallest moment can turn into something bigger. And this one spread instantly. The photo was everywhere within minutes. People zoomed in, circled the mark, and analyzed it frame by frame. Even I paused for a moment, because the online reaction became chaotic within seconds. One fan said, "I don't want to assume anything, but this looks really bad." That's exactly why it went viral, not because people knew what it was, but because no one did. Supporters defended him just as quickly. One person wrote, "It's probably baby powder from Jack's diaper. People are overthinking this." And honestly, that made sense too. When you have a child, accidents happen. But the real issue wasn't the stain itself. It was the energy around Justin Littley, the exhaustion on his face, the tension in his body language, and the emotional heaviness people had already noticed. The photo didn't prove anything, but it fueled a fire that was already burning. And the most surprising part was yet to come. Justin's live, where he finally explained what had been happening behind the scenes, changed everything. If the white powder moment caused questions, the livestream answered them in ways no one saw coming. Sitting casually with friends at a round table, he began talking normally until the conversation suddenly became much more personal. For the first time, Justin admitted he had been under financial pressure, worried about paying bills, and even feeling disconnected from his own family because of it. I remember thinking, okay, this is the moment no one can deny anymore. That's exactly how it felt. He talked about how stress pushed him away from the people he cared about, how he tried filling emotional emptiness with money and material things, and how none of it worked. You could hear the honesty in his voice, tired, heavy, almost defeated. One fan wrote, "This didn't sound like a celebrity. This sounded like someone who has been carrying too much for too long." I felt the same. Another person added, "Now the constant product launches make sense. They're just trying to keep things stable." Whether that's true or not, that's where most people's minds went. When someone openly admits financial stress, every business decision suddenly looks different. What struck me wasn't the confession, it was how openly he said it. No rehearsed answers, no polished phrasing. Just a man, overwhelmed by expectations he can't escape. And with the tension inside the Bieber home becoming clearer, what happened next online felt almost unreal. Soon after Justin's emotional live, the entire internet's attention shifted again, this time in a completely different direction. New wedding photos of Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco began appearing everywhere. And within minutes, every feed looked the same. It felt like everything paused. The photos weren't just beautiful, they felt warm, personal, and almost cinematic. Selena standing under soft lights, Benny looking at her with complete focus, a handwritten note from her grandparents, details that immediately touched people. One fan said, "I don't even know them personally, but these photos feel peaceful." And honestly, that's the exact word I thought of too. Another person wrote, "This wedding looks like something money can't buy, just pure happiness." And that reaction spread quickly, because the photos didn't look staged or forced. They felt genuine and intimate. Then came the surprising detail. Insiders claimed the rehearsal dinner alone might have cost close to $1 million. But even with that level of spending, the atmosphere didn't feel flashy. It looked intentional.com and deeply personal. As more clips appeared, showing Selena and Benny walking out of events and interacting naturally, people online began forming their own opinions, not because they were told to, but because the contrast between celebrity couples was becoming impossible to ignore. Looking back at everything that unfolded, it's clear these stories aren't just headlines, they're glimpses into people trying to keep their private lives together in the middle of public pressure. Justin and Hailey are dealing with real struggles, the kind that would challenge anyone, even without millions watching. The small moments being shared, interviews, videos make it obvious. They're facing more than they expected when they first got married. Meanwhile, the internet reacts to every detail with intensity that can either help or make things worse. Watching people respond made me realize how fast we jump to conclusions based on a single moment. I'm not here to take sides but to understand why people react the way they do. So here's my question to you. Think carefully before answering. If you were in Justin's place, dealing with financial stress, emotional pressure, in a marriage, under public judgment, which moment from this week do you think would have impacted you the most, and why? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to see how you interpret these moments when you strip away the noise and look only at the human side. After the week of intense public scrutiny, things inside the Bieber home became quiet but heavy. Justin spent long nights reviewing bills and making schedules, while Hailey focused on keeping their home stable and shielding their child from constant attention. Every small decision felt magnified. Even stepping outside meant cameras and whispers. Fans debated every move. Some criticized, some sympathized, and others tried to construct a narrative from scattered clips. Meanwhile, Justin's livestream continued circulating, with people replaying the moments where he admitted feeling pressured and disconnected. Hailey's comments about taking things day by day were also repeatedly shared, fueling discussions about what life at home might really look like. Then a rare photo appeared: Justin and Hailey walking with their child in the park, seemingly unbothered by the cameras around them. The simplicity of the moment, laughter, a small stumble, a hand reaching out, reminded people that even those constantly under scrutiny experience ordinary, human moments. Comments poured in about how relatable it felt. No glamour, no drama, just life. It was a reminder that behind every viral moment and every rumor, these are people navigating real challenges one day at a time. The real challenges one day at a time. The week that began with chaos ended with a quiet realization. Sometimes the human side says more than any headline ever can.